Hi, this is Peter and I am very excited. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of my release from prison as the only non-criminal in Britain's toughest jail. And to mark that occasion, we are launching the 11-day countdown of my book, The Inside Track, which is the 11 actual letters that I wrote to my high-level coaching clients while going through the ordeal. Now, the reason I'm excited is because today marks the 11-day countdown where each day we're going to be discussing some of the lessons and techniques and tools in one of each of the 11 chapters. And the goal of this countdown, whether you buy the book or whether you don't, and obviously I hope you do, but if you don't, the goal of this countdown is for me to be able to share with you enough information over the next 11 days to make a massive difference in your life with regards to any adversity that you're currently facing or will ever face in the future. And let's be honest, we all face adversity, challenges, call them what you will. And for those of you that haven't figured that out yet, life is not about designing yourself into a comfort zone, because if we do, then we start to resent challenges, resent when things go wrong, rather than build the skill set and the tool set to be able to deal with it in a more empowering way. And that's what this book is really designed to do. So over the next 11 days, we're going to deep dive in each of the chapters. Now, if you're watching this video and you're not on the countdown page, if you're watching it through YouTube or social media or Instagram, then please go join the countdown page, because that's where we're going to be posting all of the free content, the bonus content, as we have this journey over the next 11 days that I guarantee is going to make a difference to your life. And you can go there by going to petersage.com/VIP book launch. That'll redirect you. All you need to do is click interested, and I've got tons of free gifts and giveaways that are going through. Now, including my straight talk on how to raise your standards. It's a $99 straight talk. If you go to the description on the launch page, look just above the testimonials, you'll see a link there. Go grab it for free. I don't need your email. I don't need anything. Just go there. That's my gift to you for coming to the page and just clicking interested. But for the rest of you that are coming along on this journey for the ride, there's so much I want to share. But today, I'm going to give you a deep dive into some of the lessons on chapter 1. Now, one of the first things that we're looking at here is really explaining how do we unhook ourselves from the immediate emotional triggers that cause so many of us to do things that we then regret afterwards. In other words, when we have news that we're not expecting, or somebody triggers our anger response or insults us or does something that doesn't fit our pictures, most of the time we react off a pre-recorded set of behaviors. Again, it's what I call sleeping awake. How do you unhook from that? Because here's the sad truth. As soon as you make a decision, consciously or unconsciously, as to how you react, let's say somebody cuts you up in traffic, and they flip you the bird when they go by, and you that really hooks you. If you in that moment choose either fear instead of love, and anger is a fear-based response, and how to retaliate, then as soon as you put your foot in that corridor, then that's the direction you're going down. Now, you may decide that, for some people, that hooks them for the next 2-3 hours. They're complaining at people at work about it. It takes them out of the game. For other people that are able to choose a more empowering approach, this guy clearly needs the road more than I do, and thank goodness I'm not driving like an idiot myself and putting other people in danger, send him some compassion, or you just look at it, be glad it's not you, or recognize it used to be you at some point, and let it go, and 5 seconds later, it doesn't affect your brain chemistry. How do you choose that? How do you basically pick that emotional response? Because here's what I know. The fuel that pulls people into a fear-based response, whether it's anger or withdrawal or guilt or shame, or however you decide to react from a disempowering perspective, most of the time, the tool that is used unconsciously is justification. Now, guys, especially if you're in a relationship, listen to me here. If we figure this out, because we're usually in the slow learners club when it comes to relationships, but we hopefully get to the awareness where in a relationship, you can either be right or you can be happy. Those two are mutually exclusive. And what is right? Right is, I'm so stuck on the way that I see the model of the world that if you don't fit my pictures, I'm going to make you wrong. Emotional immaturity. So, justification is the way the brain validates your ability to make an excuse to act in accordance with your emotions. When you're angry, it's easier to justify an angry response. But the first step towards emotional maturity, and we don't learn this in school. What do you learn in school? How to pass tests and work for somebody else. You never learn the skills on how to become more of your potential. Yeah, the first step on emotional maturity is learning to become bigger than your feelings. Yeah, if you're feeling sad, what do most people do? You know, do they reach for a shovel, a mental shovel, and start digging for the awareness on what they can learn? Or do they reach for a drink? Yeah, or do they reach for justification on why they should react in a way that, you know, validates their argument of being right? All of that stuff. No, growing bigger than our emotions is a huge part. And that was a key distinction on how I learned to do that through going through that ordeal of ending up and finding myself in prison as a civil prisoner, right, when I didn't see it coming. So, you know, how do you do that? How do you build a super brain that has an empowering psychology so that it rescues you in moments where you get emotionally hooked? Well, in the first chapter, I detail some of the core beliefs. You know, believing that life happens to you and therefore running around as a victim, as opposed to believing that life happens for you and therefore everything happens for a reason, is a massive shift in your relationship to adversity. Looking and asking the question, what can I learn from this, versus focusing on the question, what have I lost, can be the difference between a life of possibility and a life on antidepressants. So, you know, how do you build that psychology? And I go into detail in the first chapter on some of the core beliefs that I have that get me through that. One of the second things I want to focus on, which I outline in the first chapter, is the power of identity. Now, most of us walk around unconsciously with identities that society has imposed on us. Husband, father, you know, coach, employee, employer, whatever it may be. And those identities, those labels, come with a whole set of unconscious behaviors, characteristics, belief systems, justifications, etc. And we will do almost anything to act in accordance with how we see ourselves as our identity. I'll give you an example. Vegetarians. Once you see yourself as an identity as a vegetarian, then you no longer eat meat. Now, it's not because you have different teeth or a different digestive system, it's because you are now a vegetarian. Now, the reasons people can choose identities can vary far and wide. That's okay, that's down to our individual belief systems. You know, you may choose to be a vegetarian because of moral reasons or health reasons, or you don't like the taste. It doesn't matter. The second you have that label, you already are fixed on what you're going to be ordering off a menu when it comes to a choice of meat or veg. Right? Smokers is another example. If you have an identity of a smoker, you will smoke. Smokers know they shouldn't smoke, but they smoke because they're smokers. Now, if you change your identity to becoming a smoker who's quit, and this applies to almost any habit, by the way, then somebody offers you a cigarette, then your identity says take one because you're still a smoker, but your willpower resists because you've quit. And the challenge is willpower always has a time limit. So eventually, 90+% of smokers who've quit go back to becoming smokers. Now instead, if you change your identity to becoming a non-smoker and somebody offers you a cigarette, there's no more willpower. Non-smokers don't smoke. So therefore, there's none of that push-pull. So what identity are you currently choosing or wearing, consciously or otherwise? And is it supporting you in what you do for your goals or how you're moving forward, or is it disempowering you? For example, if you are in a job that you don't like, which is 70% plus of the population, unfortunately, if you look at the statistics, what's happening with you in your relationship to your work? If you don't like it, but you've always wanted to start your own business, why are you still there? A lot of the time, it can be a simple switch between seeing yourself as an employee, which isn't looking for opportunity, it's looking for reasons to justify why you don't like your job or your boss, and instead see yourself or take on the identity of an entrepreneur in waiting or an entrepreneur in training. If you had that identity, what do entrepreneurs do? They look for opportunities. So if you're an entrepreneur in training, you're already looking for opportunities that if you're an employee, you may not hear, come across, attract, or engage with. So my question to you for today on our first launch day is, what is your identity and what are your default beliefs that govern your reaction to adversity when it shows up, as it will, as it's part of, because life is a growth-centric experience. So, that's some of the things I want to cover, and I go into detail in the first chapter, but I wanted to give you some of those tools, awarenesses right now, to get you to think, because some of those, or some people here can make a shift just on those questions. Now, at the end of chapter 1, I also go through in detail an emotional transformation technique. Now, this is very powerful, and I share it because this is what I was teaching my advanced students, if you remember. So if you have anything that continually hooks you, a story that you're stuck in over what happened to you, Yeah, your business partner ran off with the money. Your best friend, cheated on you with your partner. Yeah, you had a significant emotional or traumatic experience or post-traumatic stress disorder from something that happened. Yeah, the emotional transformation technique at the end of chapter 1 is designed to be able to completely recontextualize and shift your relationship biochemically to that event. And I've seen it transform the lives of so many people. I use it myself to help get over the death of my parents. And it's massively powerful. That's in chapter 1 as part of the book. So, I wanted to share that with you. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be teasing you with some content out of chapter 2. And again, giving you some great information you can use today to make a difference. We're going to go into, have you ever tried to help somebody, especially if they're friends or family, get over a limiting belief or help them out of the fog, or they're in victim mode. Everything happens to me. And for you, it's easy. You can see how to get out of that by getting into by me mode, what I call, life's going to happen by me now, not to me. And you just want to help them. Or you feel obligated. There may be a family member and they may be suffering some bad habits or alcoholism or drugs, and you just really want to help because you can see it taking them down the wrong path. At what point do you give up or choose to walk away? On what point do you, stay there and bang your head against the wall, but you can't get out of it because you're feeling guilty or obligated? Yeah, that happened to me on the 3rd week I was actually inside, where my cellmate that I was trying to help, he was massively depressed, and it got to a point where he threatened to smash the television into my face. It was a very violent prison. 3 deaths in 1 week was the worst week I was there, and that's a mixture of everything from violence to suicide to overdose to it's just not a nice place. And at what point do you choose to walk away? At what point is walking away the right thing to do rather than being able to help them over the line? I discussed that in detail in volume 2 as well. We're also tomorrow going to discuss the power of sex energy transmutation, made famous by the great Napoleon Hill in chapter 11 of Think and Grow Rich, the classic. And let's think about it. The sex hormones are the strongest drivers of human behavior. They have the ability to override logic. They have the ability to make you do things that you then regret, as almost everybody who's had an affair has found out. But they are a strong driver. Now, in prison, you don't get to express the sex energy through a heterosexual experience. You've got the homosexual side, but that wasn't my preference. So how do you use that, still use those urges that come up? And how do you transmute that into something that allows you to galvanize focus, to be able to bring your energy into a productive use rather than, either self-expression or, being able to, just get frustrated. There's techniques to be able to do that, and I discussed that in volume 2. We're going to discuss that on tomorrow's video as well. Now, bonus time, if you do buy the book on August the 1st, and again, you don't have to, I'm giving you all this content just because I love you and I want to help. That's what the letters and the books produced for, to be able to help people. If you do buy the book, I've got loads of stuff that's going to be given away. We're going to do the ebook, the audio, the Kindle, or the iBooks version. There's also going to be the audio book. It's already recorded. I'm going to give both of those free to anybody who purchases the book on August 1st on that day. So, lots to come up. We've got a load of journeys to go through over the next 10 days where I share with you some more great content. I hope that's been useful. I love you guys. If you've not yet signed up for the launch page, please go do it now. We're giving lots more stuff away on there as we journey through here. Please come support me. I'm here to support you. Engage, leave a comment. I'm going to be busy over the next 10 days working and chatting and interacting with you guys. And I'm just so excited that it's finally come time to launch what I hope is going to make a massive difference to a lot of people. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.